Should the Chicago Sky trade Ariel Atkins to get some assets back by the trade deadline? We'll talk a little bit about that. Plus, the Chicago Sky have lost 8 straight games. Can they stave off that losing streak when they take on the Washington Mystics tonight? We can talk about it all and more right after this. What's going on, Sky fans? Welcome to another episode of Chicago Sky Central, your number one spot for everything Chicago Sky related. I'm the host, Haize, but more importantly, you guys can follow the channel at Chicago Sky Pod on every social media platform we happen to be on. With that said, let's go ahead and get into this content for today. So one of the more kind of times where me and Steve-O bumped heads a little bit was when the Chicago Sky decided to trade for Ariel Atkins instead of holding on to their pick. And Ariel Atkins was the hope was that she was going to come in here and be the scorer that Chicago Sky lost when they decided to let Kennedy Carter go. They also traded Marina Mabrey at last year at the trade deadline. And now you see the Chicago Sky and where they sit, and it just hasn't worked out. They're 7-21 on the season. This season has not been a season where they picked up off on where they ended last season. And of course, you know, their top draft pick of Svetka is not here in the WNBA as of yet. Haley Van Lith, we already knew was going to be a bit of a project to learn that role in the WNBA. Courtney Vandersloot, a player that you were looking at to help kind of get your team in gear in the half-court offense and to run that, is not here either. All those things are there. And I'm not blaming where the Chicago Sky are by any stretch of the imagination on Ariel Atkins alone. I'm not doing that. But when you trade the number 3 overall pick in the draft, and then you to me, that says that the player that you're trading that pick for, you feel has more value in the short, at least the short, maybe not the long term, right? Because of course, you have the number 3 overall pick in the draft. Sometimes it takes a couple of years to get everything together, but at least in the short term, you're saying that the player that we're trading for is going to offer more value potentially than who we can get there at number 3. And the fact of the matter is, it didn't pay off. It just did not pay off for the Chicago Sky. And I'd say this, and you know, like I said, I'm not blaming everything. I'm not even blaming a huge fraction of where we are on Ariel Atkins, because Ariel Atkins is who she is. She's being who she's been throughout her WNBA career. She's averaging 14 points per game, basically. She has a career average of 13.5. She's shooting the ball right now 42% from the field. She has a career shooting percentage of 42% from the field. She's shooting the ball 35.4% from 3. Her career three-point shooting average is 36%. She's doing exactly what you traded her to do. The problem is that the vision that Jeff Pagliocca lacked when he traded for Ariel Atkins and try to put her in a position to be a different type of scorer than what she is in reality. It's not her fault. She was miscast in a different role than what she really thrives in. And I also think Courtney Vandersloot going down and providing a little bit more shooting and spacing like they hope, that also took a hit to this. But the question now is that in this spot, do you look to move on from Ariel Atkins and move her to a team that may be more suited to win now and thus maybe has more of a framework around and get something back? Keep in mind, we do have Phoenix's first-round pick that we can swap for Connecticut's pick in this upcoming draft, thanks to that Marina Mabrey trade. So there is that, right? But this is a team that clearly, they tried to jumpstart the process with Sloot and with Ariel Atkins. And I think the fact of the matter is they need to stay young. They need to double down on their youth. Again, my personal opinion, you guys can let me know how you feel on that, right? And so again, Ariel Atkins has had a decent season. She's had an Ariel Atkins season. She's done exactly what you expect from Ariel Atkins to do. The problem is that we lack all-around scoring. We lack somebody that can be a high-level isolation scorer, because that's not how it works when it comes down to it. And it just, even with Angel Reese and her stepping up as a point forward at times, it has not led to the type of wins or scenario that you had hoped that it can get to. So now the question is that, you know, can you trade her somewhere else? Would a team like Seattle be a team that could be interested in it? Mark Stein actually wrote on that, and he said this: Seattle would love her combination of floor spacing, defense, and championship experience. The only thing stopping the Sky beyond a under-the-table nudge suggesting that Atkins will re-sign long-term after a contract expires at the end of the season is pride. And that's the point that I want to make here. I completely and utterly believe that Jeff Pagliocca, in his infinite wisdom, would do something based off pride because he made the deal rather than what's best for your team. You have the chance right now, to the Chicago Sky, leading into at this trade deadline to move off air. Yes, it means the rest of your WNBA season this year is going to be even more of a struggle based upon whatever you get. Yes, it's going to be uglier. Yes, it's going to suck. Yes, I don't want to see my team lose. But you know what? I could weather this team losing for right now to set themselves up better for the future. And that's what we did not do by trading the number 3 overall pick. So in my opinion, yes, the Chicago Sky should absolutely be looking to trade Ariel Atkins and the 2-time all-star that she is at this year's trade deadline and take care of business, right? And you failed on this one. You failed on this build. It is what it is. You failed on this. There's no way around trying to do that. What the Jeff Pagliocca's vision for this team, it failed. Now there are reasons why it failed. There's also some excuses you can make for it. But at the end of the day, regardless of the reasons, regardless of the excuses, it happened. It's done. You failed. This build did not work. This version of the team is not working. It's not going to be it. You have until August 7th at 3:30 p.m. You have 2 more days. You have 48 hours, and you can get yourself some more assets back for a player that clearly is also a free agent at the end of this year. Do the right thing, Jeff. And again, I want to be clear here. In no way am I trying to knock Ariel Atkins by saying this. Every time you say trade a player, it's not saying, oh, they suck, get them off my team. It's just simply saying she could also help a team win a title. She can be in a better position. And she's very much so embraced being here in Chicago. She's defended Angel Reese. She's done everything that you can need for a player. But at this point in time, where this team is, to me, trading Ariel Atkins kind of makes the most sense for this team to get something back and put Ariel in a better place, and then let's move on. Now, the only other thing on the flip side of that, you guys know I always like to offer both sides of the argument. On the flip side of that, if they do know that Ariel Atkins is going to re-sign here long-term, and they feel very confident in bringing Svitka over, and they feel confident in what they're going to be able to do in the WNBA draft this upcoming year, if you have confidence in that, and you really do think that there is some way that you can turn this thing on around, and next season you can be in a much better situation than what you are right now, so be it. Now, do I trust that? Hell no. I don't trust Jeff Pagliocca to figure his way out of a paper bag. I just don't figure it. I don't expect that when it comes down to it. But right now, if the season were to end, the Chicago Sky have the 5th best odds in the lottery. Their own pick would be going to Minnesota, which is the 2nd best odds, but you still have a lottery pick. You can get something else. Right now, Seattle's pick will be number 10. I think that you could try to get Seattle's own pick. They also have another pick from Vegas that would be number 9. You try to do something with Ariel Atkins to get that pick. You reload the deck. You do what you should have done by focusing on going younger and developing. Again, I'm not mad at the attempt to try to make this team a playoff team right away. But I have this saying that I always say in every sport. You don't make a major trade just to become a playoff team. You make a major trade once you are a playoff team and you're trying to get over the hump. The Sky went all in on making a major move, trading the number 3 overall pick to become a playoff team. And that experiment, that desire, that goal has utterly failed by every stretch of the imagination. And it is what it is at this point. Let's see what the Chicago Sky do. You guys can let me know how you feel on that one down below. Now, with that said, I do want to talk a little bit about the Chicago Sky right now in this 8-game losing streak that we are in the midst of. And it really kind of typifies just how bad this season has been, right? This team wants to win. Michaela Onyeworthy said this. This just has to be a will to win. And we don't have that right now on a consistent basis. We can't just give up on the season. We haven't, but we got to figure it out urgently. And here's the thing. I know I just got done saying that the Chicago Sky should trade one of their leading scorers because of the state of the team and all this type of thing. I would love to see this team turn it around. Do I think that they will? I don't. I think that the season's too far gone for that. I think we don't have the necessary balance. I think we're missing too many components that this team needs to be a team that can try to turn it around with this type of deficit. And, Ariel Atkins is your 2nd leading scorer. But I'm not going to lie to you. If this team, for example, won a game, they turn around and won another one, and they turn around and won another one, we're talking about a 3-game winning streak. I'm right in excited on the live streams going absolutely batshit ass crazy, right? But you have to get that together. And right now, I don't have faith in the front office. I don't have faith in the coaching staff. Tyler Marsh said this. Everyone has the will to win. It's more of the will to compete that you have to have. No one plays the game wanting to lose, but not everyone understands what it takes. Do you understand what it takes to win? Do you understand? And looking at your rotations, I get it. We are an imbalanced roster. But looking at your rotations, looking at your offensive and defensive schemes, do you understand what it takes to win? And keep in mind, I'm a guy that's typically way more positive on this team. I err on the side of positivity more than I err on the side of negativity more times than not. But this team and the decisions that they've made from the firing of Teresa Weatherspoon to now has just been a lot of questionable decisions that you don't have anything that looks like those were the right decisions as of right now. Courtney Vandersloot, love it. Great story. Chicago legend. But it didn't work out for you. Trading for Ariel Atkins. Great, solid move. Solid move. And just the trade for it. But then when you look back and think of what you gave up and the production of Ariel Atkins and the state of the team, you would have been better off just taking the talent, the raw talent, and developing it. Wrong decision. Firing Teresa Weatherspoon. It is what it is when it came down to that. But I can tell you this right now, I don't see anything that we're getting out of Tyler Marsh as your head coach that screams to me that you should have fired Teresa Weatherspoon for it. So all those things that are standing there right now, I get it. This team, it sucks the place that we're in right now as a franchise. It sucks being 7-21 on a season that we were excited to based off how last season finished. And despite the injuries and everything, the excitement that filled that out. The Chicago Sky have not won a game since July 12th. We're almost a month from the last Chicago Sky win. Unacceptable. And that's what this season has been. This season is a bunch of missed opportunities and taking chances on things that just did not work out. Now, that's going to happen. Every franchise is going to have a period of time where they try some shit and it doesn't work out. Every franchise in sports has that. I don't care who it is. But the end of the day is that do you trust the people that we have here to get us out of this? And I tell you what, I don't. I like the players. I love a lot of the players on this team. And I do think that there's a version of the team that keeps some of these players around that could work. I told you, I was a guy that was really negative on Rachel Banham. She's had some times where it looks like, okay, I can see where Rachel is, but again, miscast because of the state of this team. She's forced to do some things that just aren't necessarily in her wheelhouse or her strength, mainly because of the state of the team. You have to get into a better spot if you want to be a better team. And this Sky team right now isn't showing any of that is coming anytime soon. So we'll see what happens. Overall, I'm glad Angel Reese is back out there on the court. That's good. I'm glad that, Angel and Camilla are still here and all that type of stuff. But we got a lot that we need to figure out this offseason. And I say this, and the troublesome part about this is, at least to me, is that we have more questions right now to end as we go towards the end of this season than what we felt like we had at the end of last season. You have created more questions. And that is a failure of the front office. That is the failure of the ownership. The goal of every offseason, of every season, for every sports team, no matter what the sport it is to eliminate a question. Meaning that if you have a doubt about who your starting point guard is, try to find an answer to that question, or at least start feeling like you've discovered an answer to that question. If you feel like coaching isn't necessarily the biggest thing for you or isn't the best aspect of your team, go out and try to find a coach where you feel like, all right, we corrected the coaching. Now we can go out and get these pieces that fit this coach. We haven't done that. The Sky have done nothing this season to eliminate very many questions. If anything, they have created more in the moves that they decided to make this past offseason. And that is the part that to me is unacceptable, to end a season in a rebuild in which you had the number 3 overall pick and multiple first-round picks to come out of that following season with more questions about the state of the team than you had when you ended the season prior. That is a problem, and that is something that I hope that this team really understands and tries to address in a meaningful way during this offseason. You took a flyer. Your shit didn't work out. Now you got to go back to the drawing board and figure it out and be passionate and care about the state of this team. I don't know if we have anybody that care. Jeff Pagliocca wants to be right more than he wants success. Don't let that go over your head. To this point right now, based off how I feel, I'm not speaking for everybody, Jeff Pagliocca wants to be right more than he wants to build a successful team. And let that make you think and ruminate on that for a little minute and tell me how you feel about that. So that's my thought process. That's where I stand right now with this team. But overall, We're back tonight for the game tonight. I don't know if C-Dub's going to do a live stream. If not, I'll be here with a halftime hangout. We'll be back post-game shows. Love you guys. Thank you guys for tuning in. Make sure you guys are following us at Chicago Sky Pod. You send us any feedback, questions, comments, concerns, ChicagoSkyCentral@gmail.com. And then lastly, if you want to leave a text message and or voicemail for the mailbag, the number to do so, 773-270-2799. We're the number one spot for everything Chicago Sky related. I'll catch you guys on the next one. Love you guys. Go Sky. Peace, y'all.
This has been a presentation of the Break Media.